So it looks to me the biggest threat to openness right now is mobile. The mobile platform has been trying to lock into proprietary systems since its origin, and Java and a few other things, and none of them have worked. So now I think out of desperation they're looking at supporting the web in the mobile platform, but it looks like they're trying to keep it closed at the same time. I think there are huge benefits to this community if the mobile web is exactly the same thing as the other web. Is it going to turn out that way? What do we need to do in order to ensure that it does turn out that way?
Well, I may be biased because I think about, I'm from Google, I think about Android all the time. I think absolutely it's going in that way. Every trend I've seen in the last couple years has been towards a more open mobile web and towards turning the mobile web into the same thing as the PC web. So that seems like the way of the future to me. I don't see, I've been very excited about what's happened in the last 6 months, 2 years, about browsers just getting much better on mobile devices and people using their browsers a ton on their iPhones and on their BlackBerry. So it looks like the trend is going in exactly the right direction.
Yeah, I think certainly we see mobile as a huge opportunity for us and for the web. It's true that for a long time, mobile software and mobile network interaction has been characterized by control that wasn't the users, the control over the software that could be there, control over the content that software could reach. But I think user and consumer expectations are changing dramatically. I think the iPhone had a lot to do with that. People expect that grade of experience at least. And we certainly believe, one of the reasons we're building Firefox for mobile devices, codenamed Fennec, is that you should have the same stack there. You should be able to have a browsing experience that's high quality, from the awesome bar and add-ons to Trace Monkey and high quality standard support, high performance JavaScript on that platform. We think it's very important to be able to build the same stack there so that you do get the full web experience. And we think, as it was for Firefox, that extensibility of that browser is going to be really important. There are lots of things to do in mobile browsing that even the brilliant folks I work with are not going to come up with on the first pass. So we want to make sure that add-on developers and others can help us bring new content capabilities and leading standards, whether that's around geolocation or different kinds of scaling and form fitting, to user interface enhancements to make sure that the open web is not just capable of delivering the same content, but capable of delivering the equivalently good or maybe better experience on these devices. So yeah, we're investing heavily in mobile. We see it with Android, we see it with the variants of the WebKit on the iPhone and other devices. We see it with, I guess, a new version of IE for Pocket IE coming out soon too. I don't think people are going to. I believe even that genie can't really be put back in the bottle. People aren't going to go back to WAP in little content silos. But there's still certainly lots of work to do in bringing the quality of experience to what people have come to expect on their desktop.
So I'll take a little bit of a contrarian approach response on this. I totally agree with that the Android, iPhone, and so on. This having a really nice browser on the phone is exciting, but I think there's all of us in the room would love to see that future. I think there's a bit of wishful thinking in there, just for the fact that on the internet there's really no central party that controls the bandwidth. But with a telco, with the cell phone, the company that gives you that phone owns that physical infrastructure. And sure, you can switch providers, but when it comes to the things that really make the money and your day-to-day usage, your push email client, a service like a music store that you're connecting to buy music from, and so on, these are still walled gardens on mobile. And I think that we need to push for network neutrality legislation, some restrictions to make sure that the carriers allow competing back-end services. And until we have these really strong neutrality protections, the carriers will still continue to exploit the fact that they own that infrastructure to create these walled gardens around the high-value services. So that's my feeling.
I will contrarian your contrarian then. I think that, well, it's true today that these services are delivered through pretty controlled mechanisms, ringtones, music, high bandwidth video streaming and so forth. These are things we see happen on the web. People do get music over the web. People do get, the equivalent of ringtones, and they're able to stream video. I think as the web platform on mobile devices becomes more powerful, there's an opportunity to, if not disintermediate, to choose your intermediator much more carefully. I don't think that's a word. So it's by no means an easy task, and I think the network neutrality issue is going to be one that we're fighting for a long time, and figuring out the right position on for a long time. But I really do think that bringing the combined creativity and flexibility of the web, it's going to mean that we're going to need to expose some different kinds of device APIs for installing ringtones and so forth, if that's the path you want to go down. And that's an area where, again, you want to have some standardization once you figure the problem space out. But I think the web's ability to deliver value is pretty much unparalleled in the software chain, and it's going to be very hard to keep that contained once people get a taste of that freedom on mobile.
Yeah, I guess I'm just saying, I think that we could make standards and we can deliver those standards in the form of the browsers, but I don't think that the carriers, out of the goodness of their heart, are going to give up being like with Apple controlling the App Store, right? They're just not going to, this kind of symbiosis between the person providing the service and the carrier it's going to take more than just having good APIs and a good platform to get them to kind of pry their fingers off that control.